Sci-Fi Fantasy Network. I'm here with Ellen Crosha, author of Cruelty, published by Crystal Inc. Would you like to tell us a little bit about what the book's about?
Yeah, the book is about a family in Ireland who are magical, and we have our protagonist Eliza, who has no power, and she's sort of treated quite badly for that, so she makes the decision to run away. She gets caught, and she makes a deal with her captor that sort of starts this whole new path for her, really, and she gets involved with the blood god who lives below the house, Faris, who is born of both Fae and sort of the Tuatha De Danann, which are the Irish old gods. So it's a very proper Celtic bloody sort of novel.
Hence the title, Cruelty.
Hence the title, Cruelty.
What inspired the story?
It was actually a nightmare. I get very, very vivid ones. I fell asleep on a train, which is always a bad idea. I didn't miss my stop, but I woke up feeling that I had, and it was that kind of, what would happen to me if I was lost and on my own? It started off as like a short story, like a girl being chased on a train, and it sort of just grew from there, really. And being Irish, and interested in fairy and fae, and my other half of my degrees in ancient history, so being interested in mythology as well, it all sort of kind of came together that way, and doing something different, because you have a lot of stories of Greek and Roman stuff, and not really a lot on Irish or British mythology or fae folk, so that's where it sort of came from.
What's your experience been like getting from writing on your own to being published?
It's really exciting. I mean, I'd always wanted to be a writer. I always had little scribbled notebooks, and that's my big dream, was to have a book published, and to going from handwriting stuff to having an editor read it to having a physical copy of the book is super exciting. It's been a really lot of hard work editing and picking out bits that you love but just don't work for the story, that you have to. I spent ages writing that, but it doesn't work overall. Your editor helps you and you take it out. It's not a wasted idea, but it's still that kind of like, and then you have the finished product and you're like, I wrote this, I made this is incredible. So
despite being set in a semi-real world, how much world building went into this, with research into mythologies, etc.?
There's quite a big book I have at home called the Encyclopedia of Mythology that my parents bought for me when I was little, and it's got like 4 different cultures: Greek and Roman, Indian, Japanese and Celtic. 1,000 entries for Celtic stuff, and the thing that really stuck with me was the veil, which is like the wall between us and the other world, which is where all the Fae come from, and I read a load of stories and things about it. For Cruelty, there's not been so much research on that side. I just knew I had one idea I wanted to use, but for the sequel, where Faris and Cornelius go through the veil, there was a lot more research on that way, so I'm having to research and write at the same time. But it's been really, really interesting reading to find out more about the mythology of my culture.
So the sequel, I assume that's what you're working on at the moment. What can you tell us about that?
Well, it's about 25 years later, and Eliza and Cornelius have had children, and we find out that Eliza's been hiding a big secret for the last 25 years, and her children are dragged into the veil. They're dragged into the other worlds by essentially the 2 queens of fairy. Now, in Irish mythology, Nick Niven is the queen of the Unseelie court, so that's the kind of queen that I've used, and Faris and Cornelius make a pact to go and get Cornelius' children back. We have encounters with Oberon, we have encounters with shadow cats, we meet wood sprites, we meet pixies, and obviously I've gone for the really, really nasty sort of stories, like brownies that you were told that helped you clean your house, they eat your face. So, I've kind of gone for that sort of properly Celtic, scary sort of fairy.
What would you say to people who are thinking of picking up your book? What would be the hook for them?
If you like a little bit of magic and a little bit of naughtiness, you like a lot of adventure and a lot of danger, that is what to go for, I think.
Well, thanks very much for talking to us. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Cheers.